welcome the Empress of Tomorrow.
The following contest is an elimination match. Making her way to the ring from Osaka, Japan, Askua.
She is hypnotic. She is mesmerizing. She is as dangerous as the day is long.
You are looking at a woman who single-handedly managed to change the entire complexion of the Raw Women's Division.
Lived up to the hype, surpassed the expectations. An undefeated run in NXT. NXT Women's Champion. A title she relinquished willingly to head to Monday Night Raw. One of the most dominant female superstars ever in WWE. The baddest woman on the planet. It absolutely amazes me how quickly Ronda Rousey and seamlessly made her transition from the world of mixed martial arts to WWE. She improves each and every time she steps in the ring.
A real natural.
Making her way to the ring from Venice Beach, California, the baddest woman on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey's got her game face locked. She is ready to compete.
Making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, Becky Lynch.
Plenty of action coming up as we have 6 of WWE's top names ready to go here.
Oh man, Michael, 6-man matches like this always remind me of world class back in the 1980s.
Oh, yeah. Ever so dangerous.
And her opponents. First, from Dallas, Texas, Ember Moon.
Plenty of action coming up as we have 6 of WWE's top names ready to go here.
Oh man, Michael, 6-man matches like this always remind me of world class back in the 1980s.
And her opponents. First, from Staten Island, New York, the Princess of Staten Island, Carmella.
Now time for our huge six-man tag team match.
And I can't think of any competitors I'd rather see go at it right now than these 6 superstars. This one's going to be great.
Oh, this is awesome.
And her opponents. First, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus, the first woman to main event a Monday Night Raw.
Plain and simple, she may be the single greatest female superstar to ever step foot in a WWE ring.
Yeah, a true trailblazer in the women's division. What a treat to see Trish.
Guys, watching Asuka and Ember Moon reminds me of the arrogance Asuka is capable of displaying. She played many games and possibly underestimated Ember Moon.
You can't argue that Ember Moon has been close to solving the Asuka puzzle. Shortcuts had to be taken by Asuka to avoid falling victim to Ember Moon's eclipse.
Oh man, this is going to be great. Byron, you called it Asuka taking shortcuts. I call it defending your ground. Ember Moon thought that Asuka's days were setting on the horizon and a new moon was rising, but Asuka rerouted Ember's warpath.
The moon never shines brighter than the sun, and the sun is Asuka.
She's in a bad way here, Byron.
Don't count her out yet, Michael.
Back inside the ring now.
Brought in the hard way.
Smart, attacking the arm. That's how you wear down your opponent.
Thinking about Asuka, I can rattle off a list of numbers associated with her accomplishments, but I was personally there when her 523-day reign as NXT Women's Champion began. And in my book, that's right up there with Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak.
Corey, you didn't want to mention some of the numbers associated with Asuka, but let me just state a couple pertinent ones. That 523 days is the longest championship reign of the modern era and 7th longest reign of all time.
A reign I believe would still be going, Michael, had Asuka not voluntarily relinquished the NXT Women's Championship when she joined the WWE roster.
Asuka looks stunned by that.
When she agreed to this match, she knew this wasn't going to be easy.
You sound surprised, Cole. Come on. Think about who she's in there with. This was bound to happen sooner or later.
Her opponent clearly wants to prove a point tonight. And you know what? I think it's working.
What a slam!
Impactful. It'll jar your spine.
Setting him up deep. And she's toying with her now.
She doesn't want to get up.
Oh, straight forearm. We saw the return of many legends in the 2018 Women's Royal Rumble, but Trish Stratus may have been the most impactful return of the evening.
Yes, indeed, Michael. Trish entered the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble at entrant 30 to a wild ovation. The WWE Universe is particular about Final Rumble entrants, so getting their approval was far from guaranteed.
You touched on Trish Stratus' Royal Rumble return, and she accomplished plenty from her final entry slot. She eliminated 3 competitors and lasted until the final 5.
Yeah, and the trio Trish eliminated were impressive indeed. Trish helped eliminate Nia Jax and single-handedly tossed out both Natalya and Mickie James. Stratus proved that she can still hang with today's top talent with that strong Rumble performance. There are times during a 6-man tag match where the hostility between 2 teams overflows. The result is complete chaos, and all 6 superstars duke it out inside, and many times outside the ring. It's complete and total chaos. But if you're one of the legal competitors in the ring during that time, you must return to the ring before the referee's 10 count or risk being counted out and lose the match for your team.
Byron, you talked about the moment in 6-man tag matches when all semblance of order breaks down. Many times the 2 teams are so determined to tear each other apart that they don't pay attention to who the legal person in the ring is or where the referee is in their 10 count. That's a huge mistake.
In the throes of battle, superstars lose their composure, and what was a 6-man tag match breaks down into a Pier 6 brawl. And if you don't keep an eye on the referee's count, you could get counted out.
This could be all she wrote.
You gotta like her chances now. Something that is always important in a 6-man match is having the ability to perform double team moves. One of the things that's...
She's looking at it.
Harsh impact. She got it.
Ronda Rousey needs to capitalize on this.
This might be it.
Oh my, I knew it was only a matter of time.
What have we got here? She's in full control now. Teamwork is always paramount in a 6-man tag match. Superstars want to be able to have a level of teamwork where 2 members of the trio perform a double team move, and the 3rd member follows that up with a move so their opponent is really down for the count.
The key is to deliver the maximum amount of punishment to your opponent in the least amount of time. You have until the referee's count of 5. It's not like you have all day in the ring, but if your team of 3 can deliver that type of offense, your trio will be in good shape.
Boom, what impact! Corey, what are they going to do here?
We're about to find out. 6-man tag team matches have been a staple of competition since the early days of sports entertainment. 2 teams of 3 compete against one another under traditional tag team rules. Stipulations can be added like no disqualification, 2 out of 3 falls, elimination, falls count anywhere, or whatever else someone could think of. Matches can also be held in a caged environment.
6-man tags can be fought under so many different types of stipulations. Teams can be part of a faction, where 3 superstars have aligned because of a common interest. The most crucial aspect to a 6-man tag team being successful is that trio's ability to act as one cohesive unit, 3 individuals working collectively at all times.
So much can take place during a 6-man tag match. Regardless of what type of match the teams of 3 are competing in, the members of that team must be on the same page. Oftentimes, the teams who have the best continuity are the most successful.
When she gets in attack mode, look out.
Thanks to Raw General Manager Kurt Angle in May of 2017.
Here she comes on the counter.
We'll see if she can turn things around. Lazy legs. Got the disarmer. Looks like Trish's night is over, guys.
That's one of the more impressive submissions in today's sports entertainment.
Oh my God, a DDT!
Lights out.
Byron, we always make a point to talk about continuity amongst team members. In the 6-man match, where Dean Ambrose teamed with the Hardys against Sheamus, Cesaro, and The Miz, both teams worked very well together. That surprised me, since this was the first time they teamed together. But there was something that night about the lunacy of Dean Ambrose fitting perfectly with the Daredevil Hardy Boys.
I've got to say, I had goosebumps for a week after the Hardy Boys returned to WWE at 2017's WrestleMania. During that six-man on Raw, Team Extreme formed an effective trio with that lunatic Dean Ambrose. After a twist of fate from Matt Hardy, Jeff crushed The Miz with a swanton bomb, and that was all she wrote.
Don't let Asuka's smile fool you. She's always looking for a knockout kick.
As beautiful as it is, Cole, that is one of the most terrifying smiles you will ever see in your life. Absolutely hypnotic. It'll buckle your knees if you know what's coming next.
Look at the look in her eyes. She's in the zone now.
To illustrate further on Asuka, you're not going to find a smile.
And it's Asuka making a move.
Now look at Asuka. She could snap her arm.
She's in firm control of this one.
On the back of the neck.
And Ember Moon, too quick. And Asuka was able to get out of the way there. In 2016, the New Day found themselves in the middle of a sick and twisted rivalry with the Wyatt family. Things escalated to the point where Bray Wyatt invited the New Day to do battle at the Wyatt family compound. New Day accepted, but what followed was something no one expected or will ever be able to forget. And Ember Moon, too quick.
Corey, we've talked about six-man tag matches, and earlier you talked about one that caught the attention of the entire sports entertainment world. The New Day fought for survival amongst the darkness of the Wyatt family compound in a battle where pickaxes and cinder blocks were used as weapons and automobiles were used as battering rams.
The New Day versus the Wyatts at the Wyatt family compound was not your traditional six-man tag match, but it showed what can happen when issues between factions can't be resolved through a sanctioned WWE match. I'll tell you what, none of the men who fought in that locked in! It's locked in! Asuka needs a miracle.
Has Carmella produced an end result?
One of the things I like best about Carmella, guys, is just how feisty she is. From the moment of, I think we know, boom! Man, Asuka needs a miracle.
Oh, guys, there's the mat slam.
With some attitude.
Like Byron, I would say Carmella is among the most feisty superstars around today. Though there are times when that feistiness borders on being a bit on the brash side.
You can call it feistiness, you can call it brashness, call it whatever you want. The bottom line is, Mella is money. At WrestleMania 32, the world saw WWE's Women's Revolution take center stage when Becky Lynch faced off against Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks to crown a new women's champion. Even by my sophisticated standards, that battle will go down as one of the greatest matches of all time.
Speaking of the triple threat match from WrestleMania 32, Corey, it signified an incredible journey for the Irish Last Kicker. In under a year, Becky Lynch went from debuting on Raw to having her picture draped across AT&T Stadium.
That match signified a moment in time and lifted all three superstars to another level. That night only fueled Becky to capture future WWE Championship gold.
Oh, the reversal by Trish Stratus. Byron, you've seen Becky compete since her days in NXT. Would you say she is one of the most difficult superstars to devise a strategy against?
Oh, absolutely, Michael. It's one of the reasons Becky is such a feared competitor. The Irish Last Kicker can trade holds, exchange martial arts strikes, and take to the air with the best of them.
I'll reiterate.
Becky Lynch, exploder suplex. Man, she knows how to make a comeback. Becky Lynch got the disarmer. Looks like Trish's night is over, guys.
Her love affair with the WWE brings me severe nausea, I have total respect for how Becky Lynch became the revolutionary superstar she is today. The Irish Lass Kicker started training for the ring at just 15 years old.
Touching on Becky Lynch's training that you mentioned, Corey, those grueling workouts were held in a small room with only a few gym mats, and the Ireland-based wrestling school was run by none other than Finn Balor.
That's where Becky developed her take-on-anyone attitude, guys. Before Becky knew it, she was competing in her native Ireland and had stamps in her passport from battles all around the world. And Ember Moon, too quick. Over time, there have been various types of six-man teams that have been successful. There are family trios like the Guerreros, the Grahams, the Andersons, and the Von Erichs. There have been members of factions who have also produced tremendous six-man teams like the Fabulous Freebirds, the Four Horsemen, the NWO, and D-Generation X.
Byron, you mentioned some families and groups that created incredible six-man teams. Talking more about factions, don't forget about the likes of the Hart Foundation, Evolution, the Wyatt family, the Shield, and the New Day. These are only some of the trios who had unbelievable matches against a variety of adversaries.
If we're talking about three-man teams, I need to shout out one of the baddest trios of all time who held the World Six-Man Championship on a number of occasions.
Ronda Rousey's done playing.
We're looking at complete domination here. You can see the confidence just beaming from her right now.
There are instances when a six-man tag match will feature a team where superstars have not always seen eye to eye or are in the midst of a disagreement. When that's the case, someone on the team must step up and be the voice of reason so the trio can function as a cohesive unit.
Oh my goodness, this hurts. Oh!
Corey, earlier you talked about what needs to happen when members of a six-man team have differences or had differences in the past. If the team can't find a way to get on the same page, they will not last very long. Someone on the team has to step up and make sure for at least that match, everyone on the team can work together.
That's easier said than done. Just because superstars might be favorites of the WWE Universe or have a common enemy, that doesn't mean they'll get along. It also doesn't mean that any past issues will magically go away. In this business, people have long memories, so if someone sees an issue on their team, they need to resolve it right away.
When a superstar is in a six-man match, one of the most important things to remember is knowing when to tag out and get the fresh member of your team in the ring. We've talked about continuity many times on this program, but it's more than that. You don't want to try to do too much when you have other members of your team out there.
I think she's trying to prove a point here.
Corey, you spoke about when a superstar is in six-man action and how crucial it is that they have the presence of mind to realize when they need to tag out. Not everyone who competes as part of a six-man team has the ability to do that. We've seen many times over the years that a superstar's inability to do that has cost their team the match.
We've also seen over the years that not all superstars play well roles. Some competitors are so dedicated.
She might have it.
Now it's time to capitalize.
Byron, one thing we learned very early on about Ember Moon is that she can overcome any adversity thrown her way.
Yeah, I think she proved that most in 2017 when she was sidelined for several weeks due to a shoulder injury, but eventually returned to capture the NXT Women's Championship later that same year.
Here we go, back inside the ring.
If I could reinforce what Byron was saying about Ember Moon's NXT Women's Championship victory, what made it so impressive, in my opinion, is that she had to defeat not one, but 3 other women to capture the gold.
That's right, it was at TakeOver War Games where Ember Moon turned back Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane to become NXT Women's Champion. And Askua was able to get out of the way there.
Oh, a scoop slam.
Something that doesn't get recognized enough with Askua is that every week gets more difficult because she's getting everybody's best shot. Everybody's trying to create a career-defining moment. They all want to be the one that adds a loss to a stellar record.
Oh, right to the skull.
A cone of silence. Askua needs a miracle.
Recognizing the mindset of Asuka's opponents as you were, Byron, I need to ask, how long can Askua be on the roll she's on? With the level of competition in WWE, it has to be inevitable that more women will etch their name in the win column.
Listen, the only place any names are going to be etched is the long list of women who have already fallen to Askua. Beautiful technique.
Carmella wants everyone to know that she's in charge.
Outrageous athleticism on the Hurricanrana.
Watching Ember Moon the past few years, Corey, one thing I've learned is that her drive to succeed may be unmatched.
I don't disagree, Cole.
She's turning the tables.
They ain't turned yet. Still got some work to do.
Askua turns it around. Askua turns it around. As Corey mentioned, preparing for Ember is not easy, especially given that she has no quit in her. But that said, Byron, perhaps replicating what Shayna Baszler did to Ember at TakeOver New Orleans would be a good approach.
Well, as vicious as it may sound, if Ember refuses to quit, you might have no other choice than to render her unconscious, much like Shayna did.
Carmella letting her opponent know how she feels.
Oh! Ouch! And she drops her.
That was about as in your face as it gets.
You gotta believe this one's over. There's no taller order in WWE than attempting to defeat the baddest woman on the planet. Byron, how can any woman gain a victory over Ronda Rousey?
Well, obviously, training is the utmost importance as Ronda approaches every fight with a lot of preparation. But here's the thing. Ronda has been training her whole life. How do you overcome that?
You talked about strategy going into a match with Ronda Rousey. Byron says it's almost impossible. Corey, would you agree?
Yeah, the only strategy I'd employ is depending on luck. Rousey's MMA losses came when she was surprised by a miracle strike, so any competitor has to hope they hit that lucky shot too.
Look at her go.
What does Carmella have to do to regain her composure? She needs to find a way to get back on the offensive here.
This woman has absolutely no quit in her, guys. Taking on a little offense like this isn't going to end her night. I can assure you of that.
One of these women has to pull away here eventually. At this point, it looks like it might just be her opponent. There are times during a six-man tag match where the hostility between two teams overflows. The result is complete chaos, and all six superstars duke it out inside, and many times outside the ring. It's complete and total chaos. But if you're one of the legal competitors in the ring during that time, you must return to the ring before the referee's 10 count or risk being counted out and lose the match for your team.
Byron, you talked about the moment in six-man tag matches when all semblance of order breaks down. Many times the two teams are so determined to tear each other apart that they don't pay attention to who the legal person in the ring is or where the referee is in their 10 count. That's a huge mistake.
In the throes of battle, superstars lose their composure in what was a six-man tag match breaks down into a pure six brawl. And if you don't keep an eye on the referee's count, you could get counted out and be the reason your team loses the match. I can see Byron making that mistake and ruining it for everybody. Oh, nasty impact.
When it comes to Ember Moon, one thing's for certain, guys. She made an instant impact handily beating Billie Kay in her first ever match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Leg drop!
Oh no, this isn't going to end well.
Ooh, what impact. I have to agree with what Byron was saying about Ember Moon's debut. She made her presence felt on day one and never looked back, beating some pretty big names in the process.
Yeah, anytime you could say you defeated the likes of Shayna Baszler and Ruby Riott, you know you're legit.
Yeah, I love the effort here, but she'd better hope she can sustain it. There it is. Nice exploder suplex. That's it. That's what she needed.
But now can Becky Lynch make the most of this?
A kick out before 3.
Wow, I thought for sure that was it.
Here we go. Start the count.
Oh, man.
Becky Lynch is credited as one of the superstars who ushered in the Women's Revolution. No match in WWE history showed where that movement was going, like the Women's Triple Threat match at WrestleMania 32. Becky Lynch clashed with the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte for the Women's Championship.
The Women's Triple Threat match at WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas was one of the most anticipated matches on the card. Becky Lynch went on a tear in the months leading up to WrestleMania and would not be ignored as a top contender for the women's title.
If you want to know just how anticipated the Women's Triple Threat match was at WrestleMania 32, just look at the photo of the 3 women that went across AT&T Stadium. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte changed the game that night.
Carmella just barely got out of the way.
Reversal.
I think she should stay down. Super kick! She has got to take advantage here.
Has Carmella produced an end result?
Ah, come on!
By any means necessary, Cole.
These superstars wearing the wounds right now of what has been an absolutely thrilling matchup. She is on fire.
Carmella groggy and wide open here.
Oh, man, what a leg drop.
This is not where you want to be. A lot of damage taken on by Carmella. I'm not sure how this will pan out. This could spell the beginning to the end for her here in this 6-man tag team match. This could be big. Asuka turns it around. Asuka being overwhelmed here. Big trouble for Asuka. Asuka being overwhelmed here.
It is not looking good for Asuka.
And she's trying to flip the script here.
Easier said than done, Michael.
Oh, what incredible power.
Wow, what a vertical suplex. Carmella with a nice reversal. This one's getting ugly. You might want to turn away if you have a weak heart.
This combo is out of this world.
A move like that can get her right back into this match.
Immediately.
Carmella letting her opponent know how she feels. Here she goes, back in the ring now.
No, reverses it. Big back body drop.
Oh, you see the height on that?
Close quarters, what a strike. Looking a little dazed here.
Yeah, she's definitely not looking herself right now, Cole.
And Askua was able to get out of the way there. Carmella wants everyone to know that she's in charge.
There goes the ref.
Although this is not good, guys.
Uh-oh.
The arms are hooked.
Tiger suplex.
Right on the back of the neck.
We're looking at complete domination here.
At the up. Full impact. Given what we've seen so far here tonight, it's hard to believe, but one of these teams will walk away from this match with their heads hung.
Oh, what impact. Wow, she's fought her way all the way.
Will she win it here?
Ember Moon has been eliminated.
Both teams working well here together. That's not always the case in a six-man tag team match. Oftentimes, you'll see
It does not look good for Carmella here. Don't know if it's going. Harsh impact. It does not look good for Carmella here. It's going to be hard for Carmella to come back now.
a minor miracle might be needed to overcome this beating.
Reverses that one.
You gotta believe this one's over.
Looks to me like these superstars are running on fumes right about now. Carmella just barely got out of the way.
Carmella is in position.
Becky Lynch just too fast for her.
Yeah, I love the effort here, but she'd better hope she can sustain it.
Look at the look in her eyes. She's in the zone now.
We've got to be nearing an elimination soon here, guys.
Nailed it.
Over the elbow.
Right on the jaw. I'll break your crown.
Becky Lynch setting up for the poop exploder. It does not look good for Carmella here. Can she end it here?
Carmella has been eliminated.
What an amazing six-man tag match.